And it is that one power that we're here to celebrate today. One power is all there is. It goes by many names, and one of those names is life. So join me in an opening treatment. What I know is that life is the very essence of everything flowing through us. It is the great gift. It is the great gift of spirit to all of us as it moves through us, as we live within it. All is well. All is well with each of us. All is well with the world. All is well with life. For such is the nature of life, that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Thank you all. So glad you're here. Glad you found us. And despite our little surprise from Google, not Google, from Zoom. Well, maybe Google too. We'll find out later. But right now, glad you're here, and appreciate your presence. Appreciate you being here, and all that matters and that accounts for. Because as we gather and we support each other and having a greater idea of truth, we're making a difference in the whole world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We are a center that celebrates life itself, that celebrates it from the perspective of that which is showing up in, as, and through each of us is the very essence and importance of what matters. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever your expression, whatever your belief system, whatever the ethnicity you find yourself part of, whatever your sexual identity, orientation, all of those things, it is celebrated. We honor it, we celebrate it, and we bring forward through you and you as you an awareness of how important all of this is. It's important because it makes for a rich experience of a great world full of people who are bringing forward the very best of life. And as we recognize this truth about each other and about all of those who we come in contact with, then we are passing that on. We're making a greater impact everywhere. We are a center that's all about teaching, healing, ministry. We do that by recognizing our truth, recognizing spiritual practices that are valuable and useful, spiritual practices that can go forward in our lives. We teach things like affirmative prayer, meditation. We teach classes on the philosophy of this teaching that allows one to move from an idea of separation and division into a consciousness of oneness. And we teach tools for community. All of those things are part of who and what we're about. So welcome. I'm glad you're with us. As we continue to move forward in our teaching, we do so by celebrating the basic declaration of principles. This is something that was written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, kind of on a spur of the moment, just before an interview for a radio station where they told him they were going to ask him, what do you believe? And this he put together for that purpose. So feel free to join me as we read this together. I believe in one God, one absolute power and first cause to all things. I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love. I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all. And so it is. So I'm very happy today that we have our wonderful co-practitioner leader to bring us some good ideas and to bring us some, to do our next affirmative prayer. So with that, I introduce to you a longtime friend and colleague, Judy Ailey.
It's nice to be with everyone this morning. These are unusual times. And it seems that one of the things I'm learning in all of this is that less is really more. I was thinking about my own life and about how much I could get done during this time of social isolation get done around the house or in my yard. But it seems to me that this is actually really a time of letting all of that go. If a few things get done, that's great. But what an opportunity to just allow ourselves the freedom to do nothing. No pressure to get stuff done. Something that many of us, and I would include myself in this, are not so great at. But it's a time for making do with what we have with a thankful and grateful heart. You might not have every single ingredient that you need to make that meal, but you improvise. You don't run out to the store for that one thing that you're missing. You make it work. The other thing that was on my mind a lot is that there's a lot of things going on in the outer world that we really just don't have any control over. So the two words that have given me a sense of wholeness and completeness in the midst of all of this are the words prayerfulness and surrender. And you may ask, what are we surrendering to? When I think of what I am surrendering to, I think that I am surrendering to the oneness and wholeness of life. I'm saying to Spirit, I let go and I let Spirit handle this. The love that this brings to my consciousness helps me deal with any fears that come up. Surrender actually invites love to transform us from the inside out. It's a time of letting go of the old way of being and allowing rebirth of the new. Here are some affirmations for these uncertain times that are sometimes helpful for me. I am allowed to rest. I don't have to be productive to be worthy. I am doing enough and I am enough. I am allowed to feel fearful, but I just don't unpack it and stay there. My feelings are real and valid. I align myself with life rather than try to control it. In this present moment, I am safe. I am allowed to take a break from the news. I am strong and reliant. And through Spirit, I can handle whatever is going on in my life. And there was one other thing that came to my attention this week that I wanted to share in closing before we get to the prayerfulness part, the opening treatment. And this was something that Louise Hay put out during the 1980s, during the AIDS pandemic. And these words seem very applicable to where we are now. And here's what Louise Hay had to say. This too shall pass, and we will grow and benefit from it. We are literally walking through uncharted waters here, and everyone involved is doing the best they can with the knowledge and understanding that they have at this point in time and space. Be proud of yourself for doing more than you thought you could. Remember that someone, somewhere on this planet has been healed of every single disease that we've been able to create. There has to be a healing answer. It doesn't matter what language you speak. Love speaks to us all from the heart. Spend time every day just quieting down and feeling the love from your heart going through your arms and your legs and through every organ of your body. Love is a healing power. Love opens all doors. Love is an ever-ready universal power that is here to help us overcome every challenge in our life. Open your heart. Let the love flow. Feel your oneness with the power that created you. And with that, thank you, Louise Hay. She's no longer on this plane of existence, but I still feel a lot of connection with her. I invite you now to join me in a spiritual mind treatment and affirmative prayer, that sense of prayerfulness that we can take with us through every moment of our lives. So I'm going to do this in the first person, and I invite you to accept it for yourself. And So here we go. Take a couple of nice, slow breaths and just allow yourself to become fully present right here and right now. I know that there is one power, that there is only one goodness, one life, one love, one universal spirit, that this spirit and this presence moves through me, it fills me, I am in it, and it is in me. And I surrender to this love, to this presence, to this power, to this goodness. I surrender myself to it in every way. I let go of trying to control how things look in my world. Instead, I allow this transformational power of goodness to express through me as new ideas, as new ways of approaching life, as a peace and a sense of well-being that permeates me to the core. As I allow myself to be quiet, and I have lots of time for that now, I sense my complete and total oneness with this power for good. I turn away from anything that distracts me, anything that brings up fear or worry. I know that I am loved and protected and filled with the wisdom and the knowledge and the intuitive sense of all that I need to do and all that I need to be in this world. I know that I have something great to offer to the world at this time, and I am open to understanding that and seeing that. So I am just grateful. I'm grateful for having a home to be in that is safe, having loving friends and a loving partner, having friends that check up on me, and friends that I call and check in on a regular basis. I know that these connections are vital and that I allow love to flow through me through these connections. I am grateful for this time of our service today, for words of wisdom that we will hear. I open myself up to them, and I know that my understanding deepens, my joy deepens, my sense of peace and well-being deepens. So I'm just grateful for this, and I release these words now, knowing that they're powerful and knowing that they are so, and so it is. Okay, well, thank you all. Our next moment here, we're going to see another video, and this is another Daniel Namad song, who's a fabulous songwriter, and this song is called Here Goes Nothing, and it's performed by Trey Eisenhower, and in this song, he reminds us that no matter what happens or what is happening around us, we simply claim divine courage and love and remember that all is well and that we've always been okay and that we're always going to be okay no matter what. So here's a very inspiring piece of music for us. Thanks.
I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering. Whenever everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this, I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing, I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. Here goes everything, it's all on the line now, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy, some say I need to close my eyes, take a leap, and I know better, 'cause I believe, even in the dark, my soul can see. 'Cause when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is always the same. Here goes nothing, I'm taking a chance, I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands, knowing that I'm in good hands. I'm taking a chance, I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything, it's all around, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way.
Wow. Thank you. Trey, by the way, is the partner of the minister in the Palm Desert Church, and is quite a musician. He's also an airline pilot, so he does lots of things. That was beautiful. Thank you, Doug, for finding that and for sharing it with us. So today, I want to dive into our new theme for April. I'm excited. There are several things happening today. One of them is that this is the beginning of my third year with you. I just completed, as of April 1st, 2 years, and I'm very grateful for that. I am looking forward to the exciting new growth and new possibilities for the new year. It's a perfect timing to do this particular theme. Our theme today is Bright Beginnings. It is also our theme for the month, and but today's talk is really focused around bright beginnings. So I want to show you. You may have seen this, or maybe not. I don't know. But here is what shows up on the screen for the theme for today. Bright beginnings, taking responsibility for self, community, and the world. Well, when I first saw that, I have to tell you that a part of my brain went, oh, hell no. I am not responsible for the community, and I'm sure not responsible for the world. No, 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 no. I can cuss in my own house, right? So what came of that for me was I realized that was a gut reaction to where I've come from and where I started. So I want to share a little bit about that with you. I came into this teaching through a 12-step program where I learned, having been a raging, screaming, off the charts codependent who injured himself one week because I was trying to prevent someone who was drunk from killing themselves by diving out the window. And I busted my knee tackling him twice, messed up myself in several ways, only to realize later that there was no screen on the window and it was 3 feet to the ground. So I was out of control. You know, my life was the mess, not anybody else's. So I learned through that program and through the spiritual growth that came from that, which finally brought me into this teaching, that where I could really take care of things and be responsible was for myself. And I needed to let go of all that responsibility to other people or for other people, thinking that somehow I'm to blame for anybody else's behavior or activity, or that it's my responsibility to fix it all for them, the world, the community, everywhere. And so when I saw this theme, I went, no, 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 I'm not doing that. We don't do this. We focus on ourselves. And so I started to unpack the idea of responsibility. And what I had learned way back is that my thinking really got clear and got focused when I recognized the definition of responsibility as the ability to respond. Not blame, not being held for anybody else's behavior or being blamed for it or responsible to fix it. But it was the ability to respond. And in my own growth, what I learned in recognizing that was I had to look at what I have the true ability to take care of, what is really mine to do. What do I have the ability? Can I really respond to? You know? And what I realized that today, what I have the freedom and ability to respond to is this present moment. And I have the ability to respond, not react, but respond to whatever still bubbles up from the past, like when I cuss, and recognize that that's just something else waiting to be healed. And I respond not by reacting, but by choosing how I will be in response to life. And I have an ability to respond by creating the future I desire. So we're looking at bright beginnings that are surrounded and filled by light. So to get clearer about my ability to respond regarding my community and my world, I love that video because it brought us right into this moment with all of the images. I get clear about that by getting really clear and focused on myself first. Who am I to even think about being responsible for the community or the world? And what does that even mean anyway? You see, any spiritual practice, any spiritual idea, any spiritual philosophy that is grounded in the truth always brings us back to ourselves, not to something out there, not to power out there, not to life out there, but back to us, back to me, back to my truth about who I am. See, and what I know and what we teach and what I think is core to this whole thought about responsibility for anyone else is the idea that I'm an expression of a divine power, an individualized version coming right out of that richness of life, right out of that life itself, being an example or a member of that life in a divine, beautiful world, a divine spiritual presence. And it's mine to live in that space. Apparently I had a blip. Welcome back, everybody. Okay. Too much power going on in this room. Love it. So the divine is expressing in each of us. It's showing up. And we're doing that in a growth experience, because when we say that, we are divine beings, spiritual beings having a physical experience, what we're really saying is we are spiritual beings having a growth experience. My wonderful teacher, Dr. Kennedy Schultz, used to say the first law of life is the law of growth. And I used to hear that and I used to go, yeah, that sounds right. And it was a while before, in that sounding right, was I clear about what it meant. And I accept it once I got clearer about it. And this is another bit from the Talmud. The Talmud says, every blade of grass has an angel that bends over it and whispers, grow, grow, grow. And if that's true for a blade of grass, imagine how true that is for us. There's a power around us or within us that is just urging us towards growth. It is what we are here to do and to be individually, and as part of the oneness that we all are involved in and surrounded by. And so it is that we are brought and pulled forward towards growth, to have the opportunity to grow. See, and we do that in this universe of oneness that's responding to us according to our beliefs. We have that divine urge to grow, to go forward, to get bigger. And we are given everything we need from the infinite within us to do that. And we do it by creating a life, by paying attention to our desires, knowing what they are, getting clear about them, and affirming them as being right and good and whole, and bringing them forward into the world, into that time and place, into that growth. We have within us everything we need or could need for this purpose. Hear what Ernest Holmes says about it. Okay, where is it? Ernest says, now suppose there were at the center of being of each one of us a clear channel to the infinite, which is forever pouring out through us in a unique way, because it never does two things alike, nor does it ever repeat itself. See, we have within us this amazing power that is showing up, that is coming forth and coming forward uniquely as us. So when you have that thing niggling around in your consciousness or in your mind that just won't go away, won't stop bothering you, that's the nudging of the infinite saying, this is yours, this is your path, this is what you can do, this is how you can participate. Whether it's to sit quietly in your home and meditate for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 10 weeks, or whether it's to get up and do something active, whatever that is, however that's different, I don't really know. My friend John De Palma loves to say, I don't know how your your action is more powerful than my prayer. So you find your place. You find that thing to draw you into the next moment. And we do that by creating. Now, a lot of people like the word co-creating, and I'm not particularly opposed to it, except it's not accurate enough. Co-creating implies it's us and something else that we are creating our lives from. The truth is, we are creating as the thing itself.
Good. Are you tucking in, Larry?
Yeah, are you guys still working?
Oh, yeah, we're slammed up because the rates are low.
Oh,
Okay. So we have a surprise with us. All right. Maybe they'll learn something. You never know. Okay. So here's the thing. As we create that life for ourselves and we do it in response to our growth, we are simply living out the reality and truth of who we are. But there's one more aspect, and it's the most important one. And that is the aspect of love. Love is our nature. Love is what we're made of. Love is where we come from and what we're moving to. So as we think about what it means to be responsible for our community and our world, it is our responsibility, our ability to respond by recognizing the good wherever we see it. It is necessary in our ability to respond that we bring love wherever we can, because it's who we are. It's necessary that we respond to our desires. So we follow those desires and what we do, and we follow that divine nudging as far as what kinds of actions we want to take in relationship to the community around us. Many of us took action by choosing not to be out and about. We took action on behalf of our world by honoring the values of our community and saying, people matter. I matter. And whether you believe that you would get sick or not, the choice to stay home and be more cautious is a choice to honor and love those people in your world. And nothing and no one can interfere with that. Perhaps you feel a nudge or an urge to support some particular political cause or human rights cause. If your heart is drawing you there, it is, if your divine desire is to express in that way, then go for it. For then you're being in integrity with your ability to respond. We are not a passive teaching. We are not a teaching that says don't get involved with things. Sit on a rock somewhere and just treat and meditate. Those are important things to do. But out of that treatment and meditation comes action, comes a desire. You know, we say all the time, we treat and move our feet. We pray and move our feet. We go to the next step. This is what we are involved in. But you do it not out of a need, not out of a sense of loss, fear, or any of that. We do it out of a desire to bring a greater love, a greater creativity, and a greater expression of life to all that is around us, to whatever we are drawn to, whatever our particular thing is. I've been involved in certain rights movements since I was in my 20s. Well, since I was a kid, really. I got in trouble as an 11-year-old for drinking out of the water fountain in the back of the Woolworth's dime store that was designated for colored people only. My best friends were people in the neighborhood right next door to me. I didn't really care where the water was aimed for. I loved my friends, and I was thirsty. So I broke through that. I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. I got in a lot of trouble. But I called a lot of attention to an important thing, that a whole new generation was being born that wasn't going to live by that old nonsense. And that's important to do. But you do what your heart is calling you to do, not what your head is saying you ought to do. Or what someone else tells you it's your responsibility to do. It's your responsibility to follow the nudging from within you and the spirit that is within you to create a greater life for yourself. That's your responsibility. And in creating that greater life for yourself, you're creating it for everyone else as well, for those in your community, those in our world. See, what we know is that in a world of oneness, if we change something in one place, it affects everything. The famous butterfly effect. The batting of wings of a single butterfly makes a difference in what's happening all across the planet. Balance going on. There's a rich interconnectedness. So we are responsible in the ability to respond for our place in our communities, in our world. Every time we do spiritual mind treatment, every time we do affirmative prayer, every time we meditate, every time we lift our thinking out of two-ness, otherness, into oneness, into recognition that there's more, we are indeed being responsible for our community and for our world. It's not an either or. Part of the commitment to being in this particular spiritual path is that we are all moving toward that greater idea of oneness. We're all moving toward the awareness of the goodness of God in everything. And we're letting all other things drop to the wayside. So, in summary, we're pulled by our growth to a greater expression and experience of ourselves. We are creating our worlds for ourselves individually and those around us who choose to participate by following our desires and bringing them forward with ease and beauty and knowing that we are fully, completely supported in doing that. And we are motivated by a love that is for all creation. And in doing that, we are fully, fully motivated and supported. So I'll share one more time. Another great metaphysician says that we can find happiness. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. We are turning on the light for ourselves and for the world every time we do what we do, every time we step from two-ness into oneness. So I invite you to affirm with me that right now in this world at this time, I experience the freedom to be the voice of love. I am called to be. That's what it means to take responsibility for our community and for our world. And you have all that is needed in order to do that, according to your idea of it and nothing else. No one gets to tell you what that means but you. So, because you're wonderful, and so am I, and so it is. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it back to Vance for announcements. If you liked it, give me a flutter.
All right.
Thank you.
Yay. Thanks everybody for joining us today. I am Vance Blue. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees and being host until we had a technical challenge. Working on that. But anyway, we're making our way through this. While we're meeting online, we invite you to celebrate this effort by contributing through the link on our website with PayPal, or you can send checks to CSL Midtown at P.O. Box 14303, Atlanta, Georgia 30324. And there'll be a link in the chat for you to contribute as well. And your generous contributions help us expand our reach to a wider group of people, bringing this message of peace and freedom and health in this challenging time. Thank you to all of you who give freely of your time, talent, and treasures. We do appreciate it for sure. So please join me in reading the affirmation of prosperity is, I live in a universe of abundance.
abundance.
As I freely
Freely
and joyfully
enjoy
give,
and give,
I join in
join
the
in the divine flow,
and
and
all
all that I share with life
returns to
returns to me,
multiply.
multiplied abundantly. And
And
so it is.
all right. Stop sharing that. Well, actually, go to the announcements. Announcements. Wait. All right. So we get a song here by Daniel Nema, which is called "Everything New." So enjoy this. Whoops.
Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. And no more wishing on someone else's star. Oh, that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts, slamming doors. I'll be all right, yes I will, once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new.
All right. Thank you, Daniel Nema. So on to our announcements. We've got the upcoming. So yeah, join us next Sunday, online again. We will figure out this password thing as we work through that. But coming up during the week, we got spiritual empowerment Tuesdays at noon, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Zoom link will be posted on Facebook and in our newsletter, so you can get to that. It's there. It's the same link number, should be the same password, but we will confirm that. So look on the website for that and on the Facebook page. April 15th, we're starting a brand new class from CSL entitled Revealing Wholeness, Spirit, Mind, Body Connection. So build a stronger health consciousness through this online course taught by Dr. Bob. And it's a 7-week course facilitated by Bob. So it's the Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Online Education Series. So it's going to be Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. starting April 15th through May 27th. The cost for the course is $199 and payment plans can be arranged. So to register for that, you can go to our website or and follow the links on the website for that, or email Dr. Bob, B-O-B, D-E-E-N at cslmidtown.org with the name Revealing Wholeness in the subject line, and we'll get you registered for that. And I want to recognize our practitioners. Your wave. To see the practitioners, if you are, and they're available this week to provide affirmative prayer for people who feel a need for that. So the practitioners can put their names in the chat and we can put that out. They're also listed on the website. If you go to cslmidtown.org, you can see the practitioners, and there's connection points there for them as well. So I'd like to recognize all of our volunteers. We get a lot of people that volunteer on a weekly basis, and during this interim period, they are away resting, but it looks like May 10th is our potential returning point to the Academy of Medicine. And if you want to be a greeter or you love children and you want to participate in the youth program, but all kinds of things that we've got opportunities to do. So I return it back to Dr. Bob.
Wow, thank you all for being here. I'm thrilled. It's been great fun and challenges and all. We have persevered, and I'm very grateful for that.